What is up, the YouTube Steam blockchain? So today I want to talk about a really amazing app that I found on XDA developers, and I want to talk a little bit general also about apps. So this app is called, and you can find it on XDA developers. It's called YouTube Vanced with a V at the beginning. And the interesting part about this app is it enables background play in the app. Like, you don't need YouTube Premium. Like, you can play videos in the background, the audio, for free, with or without headphones. But you need to go and tweak that in the settings in the app. But the reason why I want to talk about this, first of all, because it's an amazing app. Like, if you want to listen to long YouTube videos in the background, you can do it. You don't even need the display on your phone to be turned on. And this is like a huge time saver. Like, this is like amazing. So yeah, I want to talk a little bit also about my thoughts on apps here. So it's really interesting to follow apps and kind of where it's going. So for example, I'm not gonna say where it exists, but there has been people, or there are already apps that gives like Netflix and all that for free. I'm not gonna link to it, but it's like, and then there are also apps like that for Spotify, without any, without like kind of like the premium functions, and it's kind of interesting. I mean, of course, this has always happened. Like, the capability of technology has always sort of increased. But I want to talk about the general trend of this. Like, where is this sort of going? Well, the first thing you sort of see here is the capability of technology is rising. So, yeah, you had, like, a few years ago, these kind of three services that would cost you like $30 a month. And now it's like, oh, now people have sort of made these apps, and I'm not gonna link to them, but it's like they made kind of apps that works exactly the same, but without like the hassle of dealing with like, oh, you need to, you know, you need to like insert your credit card for every single thing. It's like there are these apps that are trying to make people's life more efficient. And yes, you can have like a moral point of this, same as you can have a moral point of, it's like, I think many times people want to do the right thing, but it's like, then you look at many of these companies and it seems like they just don't care. Like, they don't really seem to care at all about you. And then it's like, well, well, maybe I'm just gonna use this other thing. So it's like, mm, it's interesting to see the progress of technology, how these capabilities are always going up. And for example, if these companies adopted new technology, so you can pay with crypto, for example, for their subscription services, I think most people would do that. Because most people want to, but most people also think that they kind of look at, maybe for example with YouTube background play, they kind of maybe look at it as an asshole move from like YouTube, that you can't even, like, this basic function of being able to play in the background, it should already be free. And it's like they're trying to make some weird premium thing out of it. It's kind of weird. Like, it's kind of lame, to be honest. It seems like, yeah, we should have background play already for free. So it's kind of interesting. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see how the capability is increasing all the time, and sort of see where all these apps are going. And from the main thing I see where all this is going is, you'll be able to do all the actions that would happen inside of an app without actually have to open up the app. Okay? Without actually have to open up the app, you can still use the app. Now, this capability is not 100% here right now. For example, if you want to use Twitter in the background, you can't really do it. If you want to use another centralized app in the background, like maybe post something without opening up the app, you can't really do it. if you want to stream something from Twitter in the background or something, you can't really do it. But it's not like a coding limitation, but it's just that the way these apps at the moment are working is they sort of want you to open up the app to see some ads, probably, but eventually it's just probably gonna go towards, yeah, we can just do, you don't even have to have your eyes open, like we can just do whatever it is you want to do. We can set up bots and do cool things with them. Will bots be misused? Yes, sure, but most people are probably gonna try to use it ethical, and it just makes more sense. Thoughts about apps that you should be able to do everything without having to always switch between apps. Like if I'm doing some task that is usually very repetitive, I should be able to automate that. If I'm doing an action and some voice assistant should tell me, well, you're doing this a lot, should we automate this? Like, you should have better assistance. Voice assistants at the moment, even as of 2020, are horrible. I tried the Bixby, and you can't even make it open up a website, or you can tell it to Google something, but then you can't say like a Bixby open up the page or the result number 1, or Bixby copy this on this page. It still is very, very lame, to be honest. Like the voice assistant still is very lame, but you can see where it's going eventually. That imagine if you can set up a voice assistant to do whatever it is you want to do, and as long as it makes logical sense, it should be able to do that, right? It's just a question of computing power. It's just a question of more computing power, I think. But then it should be able to do everything you want, like logically, and that's gonna be super, super interesting to follow. Uh, so yeah, the general trend there is that you don't have to open up apps, and we still see some apps, they still try to make you like hang around in the app. You have, for example, games that sort of want to detect, like, is this a real human, is this a bot? In the future, I don't really think it's gonna matter that much, because if a bot is mining value in a game and it just follows the rules of the game, and like we know this in crypto, it's like, as long as you're following the rules of the smart contract, like code is law or whatever. Now I'm not sure if I agree with that, but it's like we're talking about computing, right? So even when you're in a game, if you have a bot that plays it and it's computing in the right way and it's not trying to hack the game or anything, then it's like that kind of entity should be able to play that game, right, and level up. And eventually it's just like, it's going to be a question of like, you can collaborate, you can have humans play it and you can have robots play it, and as long as the bots are not trying to hack the game, or maybe if they would hack the game, you can build an even smarter game and you can solve bugs and stuff like that. But at the moment, there is this, I think, this little bit of a paranoia about how humans should relate to bots, and I think that we have seen good use of bots also. We've seen both. Like, we've seen both good and bad use of bots. But usually when it's like bad use of bots, it's usually a human that has done something or programmed it something. It's usually not the bot itself that did that. Like, it was like a human that programmed it. So it's kind of fascinating how humans, they don't really know exactly how to relate to this, but I think that uh eventually we are gonna find we're gonna see the ideal way to use all this technology, and we're gonna become more skillful at using technology and realize that if we just open up a little bit more abundance and try to make apps that are a little bit more open source and allow people to use their own intelligence to come up with new cool things, we can innovate faster and create more value. I really think that is the case. And at the moment, there's still a lot of old mindset that everything needs to be super exclusive or we cannot succeed. But now we have seen that we can make blockchains and we can make tokens and we can create value out of thin air. And so it's like, yeah, we can succeed with these computing systems, and we don't, and humans eventually should probably come to terms with, like, it's not that efficient to have a human popping out a credit card and like inserting a code, and like once a month something happen on his card. It's like that's already a lot of computing, but that's just slower computing than what we can do in terms of efficiency. Like we can set up these better systems that we're exploring now that just makes it better, right? Just automates a lot of stuff. So it's gonna be interesting to sort of see this develop. So again, the app, I think I'm gonna try to link it in the bottom of this video to XDA developers, YouTube Vanced. And yeah, it's really cool. Like people are always trying to make apps that create more value, and it's fascinating. I'm really looking forward to apps be able to communicate data across other apps, because at the moment a lot of apps cannot really do that. You usually have to download another app, and I'm really looking forward to future where, yeah, you can either do everything in one app or you can just do it with voice, or both. Yeah, so that is what I wanted to talk a little bit about today. So I love background play, I love this, and fascinating to see how this like develops. You can also already see it on YouTube. It's very interesting. So right now in the official YouTube app, if a video is being streamed, or if you go to the browse section, you don't even have to click the video, and they already have it like streaming, and you can already see subtitles, so you don't even have to click the video, but you can already get a grasp of what it is. It's kind of cool, like how these devices are becoming more game theory ready, and more alive. Yeah, definitely more alive. Yeah. So that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. I love to see where the future is going with all of this. Have a great day, YouTube, and Steam blockchain. Bye bye.